Hello and welcome back to Wednesday Wisdom. We are thrilled to be with you. I would like to introduce my hosts. We have Renee Meyer, who is, let me find my notes, wasn't prepared for that part, who is a realtor in the state of South Dakota. She's also going to be running for governor of her state in the year of 2026. So please be sure to go and vote.
2022.
Oh, 2022. My apologies.
2022.
And
that's all right.
And she's also a professional psychic. Amanda Ramos is from Colorado and is the owner of Genesis Training Academy. She is a former master barber for over a decade, and she builds the most fabulous fairy houses and fairy castles known to man. Now, I'm going to let each of you tell a little bit about yourselves so that the audience can get to know you better. Renee, we'll start with you. Tell everybody a little bit about your.
Well,
Go ahead.
Well, I'm a truther. I'm a Q follower. I follow all the politics and the economics, and I'm constantly searching for truth. Over 15 years ago, when I was getting divorced, I asked God to let me see the truth of everything. And I had no idea the lesson that I was asking for. And so he gave it to me in little itty bits and pieces as I went along. And I just started researching every different little thing. And so I kept going from there. So, and then I ended up seeking psychic advice, and I ended up so many of my advisors said, Renee, you can do this. Why don't you just try to do this? And so I decided to do that. And I started opening up my own gifts. And I believe a lot in holistic medicine. One day I'd like to have like a community center where people can, come for holistic type healing. I'm into tuning forks, crystals, rocks. I lived in the Black Hills for years. And so I love rocks and the energy of the earth and all of that, and meditating and just about anything that brings peace, love, and joy to people.
Perfect. Beautiful. And Amanda, we'll go to you.
Well, thank you. So I'm Amanda Ramos, and yes, I had an adventure for my life. I'm the oldest out of 5 kids. Always had that really strong sense of, motherly wanting to gather people and help them and make them feel better. And then I, was in the service industry for many, many years. Then I went from there to my barbering, and I wasn't a big school person, dropped out of high school, ended up getting my GED, just wasn't the school thing for me. Went on a journey, and, just being around humans has been my big thing of like, I love from children to elderly, in the between, and just making people smile. I love to listen. I love to hear stories. I love to share stories. And so on this adventure, during quarantine, it was very much time for me to go inside and to really do a lot of self-care for myself and learn what everything is about that maybe, they don't teach you. And so I did a lot of research with that. And in between all of that time, I was very psychic, just didn't believe in myself, didn't know the magic that I really had. And so through the time, the last years, I have been able to evolve and find very mutual people that have the same views as myself and the same, psychic abilities and the magic that they bring to as well to the table. And so that's where I'm here now, and I'm just really embracing it and would like to share it with the world, and the imagination, and help people bring that out and kind of I could go on forever, but that's in a nutshell.
Right. I love it. It's perfect. Okay, I still don't know what's
Thank
happening
you.
with my screen. I'm trying to fix my screen. Here we go.
You're on the,
Okay, so I'm messing with my screen and I apologize. So we want to kind of plug our new adventures and collaborating that we're going to do together. As soon as I figure out how to make my screen quit jumping. Okay, so as I was saying, we are excited to collaborate together. We have a whole new revolutionized way of dealing with psychics that we are offering on the website now, so that there is no more of that pay per minute speed dating type calls, as I call them. I feel like I'm speed dating. You're on a clock. You can only ask so many questions, then you're out of there, you know. And there's none of that on the website. We have several different time slots and different price categories that you can choose from. We're also going to offer several different psychics that you can choose from. All of us come with a whole host of qualifications, with some certifications on paper and others just simply life experiences, which in a lot of cases is a lot better than certification coming from a school, in my opinion. But we literally have psychics that can cater to any type of needs and questions that you have in life. Like, for example, I think I have this listed somewhere. We have nutritionists, we have herbalists, we have holistic practitioners, we have spiritual practitioners and life coaches, we have relationship therapists, we have healers, and then we have barbers and bartenders and such like that, that are just as good, if not better, counselors than anyone with a damn certification for it, in my opinion. Amanda can speak to that. She was a barber for many years, and part of her job was to give that emotional therapy and be a good ear to listen when people need it. Right?
Like, you know, that if you, anybody out there, right? I mean, everybody, unless you are saving money and you're using the Flowbee for your hair at home, right? You are going to go get your hair cut, right? At that time, it has been made a service, right? And it can be, we can take any service and make it like that. But I have a special time where I get to sit and listen, and then, you know, I'm touching them, right? And then it's an interaction, and it's like you and their time. And during that time, I would remember things. They would share. They can't help but tell you, you know, really special, intimate things in their life. And then, you know, you see them again like 4 weeks later, right? And so you're learning about their life and everything. So it was, you really don't have a choice but to become, you know, a very empathy person towards humans, right? And work on that gift that you've been given, right? And that's how I developed it, between that and also service, right? Anybody that's been in the service industry, you know what it's like to run around with your head cut off like a chicken and serve everybody, and you're like, I just want to get served myself, right? Yeah. but it gives you that respect, right? In the long run, to where you know that when someone serves you, you can have that mutual respect, right?
Right. Exactly.
Well, I myself have always been a people person. And I've done waitressing too. So, you know, and, you know, serving people when you're young teaches you a lot about how to interact with people and how to help them. And even when I was waitressing, it seemed like God would send me certain people that needed my advice. because I went from waitressing when I was young. I went to college, to School of Mines for engineering. And then, I went into drafting, and I also did waitress. And then I ended up with an automotive repair business. And then after my divorce, I went back home and started waitressing again. So it's like a whole life cycle. But, we all have such gifts from our life experiences, and nothing can replace life experiences for helping people, right?
Right.
That's exactly right. Exactly right. Okay, now that I'm done playing with my screen again, I'm gonna move right along and discuss some more things that we offer on the website before we start having our discussion for Wednesday Wisdom. So, oh, and real quick, I also just wanted to add for everyone's information that our psychics are complete. They have the whole tool bag of stuff. We've got tuning forks. We've got Native American drumming. We have crystals out the wazoo, dowsing rods. We have mediums. We have people who use pendulums. I know some people frown on that, but we do have some people that use pendulums. We even have people that use spirit boards. Not a Ouija board, totally different thing. Again, I know people have some problems with those. But yeah, I mean, we've got such a great group of people.
Even laughter, right?
Laughter, yes,
Kelly,
that's right.
yes.
Yes, we have lots of laughter. Yes. And they're compassionate, and they truly are in the business of service to others and helping everyone to reach their highest good. This is not just a job. This is not just a title. This is everything to every person that is on board with me. I am so grateful to know every one of them. I am so blessed to have encountered them and have them come into my life. And I am so excited for the gifts that we have to offer to humanity. And with that, I'm going to start naming a list of things that you can expect to hear from us on Wednesday Wisdom. We are going to be discussing how to truly love yourself. And we may have to do more than one episode that may turn into an entire series. We're also going to talk about volunteers and what that really means, and that you could discover you're a volunteer too, and you just maybe don't remember that. There are reasons why you wouldn't remember it. So we're going to cover those topics. We're going to talk about psychic you, because we are not the only psychics that are here. Every one of you have the ability to be psychic. Every one of you have the ability to be creators, and we are going to show you how to tap into your psychic and intuitive creativity so that you can manifest the life that you want and desire as well. We're also going to talk about UFOs and otherworldly beings, because yes, they are here. They are real. We've seen too many of them. I personally have had multiple encounters with UFOs and beings to know that they are very real, and I am mostly sane. So you can pretty much trust my accounts of, of what I've been through, mostly sane.
My mother always said, you have to be a little crazy to live in this world. So there's nothing wrong with a little bit of insanity.
Right? That's right. That's right. And being a little crazy actually adds some fun and spice to your life. So I'm okay with being a little crazy. We're also going to talk about understanding the matrix, understanding the self, understanding how you can recreate the matrix. You don't have to just figure out how to get out of it. We're going to talk about giants. We're going to talk about the Naga and the snake people. We're going to talk about dragons. We're going to talk about sacred mountains that are all around the world, ley lines, growing healthy food, spices, and herbs, and how to wildcraft them. We're going to talk about sacred symbols and sacred geometry. We're going to talk about the purpose of the ley lines as well. I forgot to mention that. We're going to talk about what affirmations are and how to use them to your benefit with healing intentions and manifesting the life that you want. We're going to speak about different therapy modalities that there are, because there's art and music therapy, and that is not limited to some little small box and category. You can do a whole host of things that are very creative and very fulfilling and very simple, and call it your musical therapy or your art therapy. We're also going to cover how to do herbal extracts, tinctures, poultices, and such like that. Things that can benefit you, that you can use at home and probably find in your own kitchen without even having to have a garden or a yard that's big enough to grow things in. Chances are you have most of what you need right there in your kitchen cabinet. So we're going to cover that kind of stuff. We're going to talk about making candles and different kinds of wax and the importance of different wax, and maybe even like where it comes from, because I think that's an interesting topic personally. We're also going to cover fun stuff like facials, facial exercises, and natural facial facelifts. We're going to do recipes for natural facelifts. We're going to do recipes for our favorite goodies that we like to cook and bake on the holidays. We're going to talk about all kinds of really exciting, wonderful, beneficial things for everyday life on Wednesday Wisdom. And of course, we're always going to sprinkle it with magic, and we're always going to sprinkle it with spirituality, because everything around you is spiritual and magic. And it's time that we all embrace that inner child within us and remember how magical we really are, and really start living that type of life, no matter how silly or crazy it seems to anybody else. As long as it brings you joy and the people around you, that's all that should matter. All right, Amanda, do you have anything you would like to add to that?
No, you pretty much covered all of that. It's amazing. Maybe even some dancing too.
Yes.
Some therapeutic ways of releasing energy out through some movement.
Yes.
Too.
I love it.
Sure.
I love
like
dancing. I love it. All right. So what are the topics?
Well,
Go ahead, Renee.
oh, I was gonna say, you know, when I cook, I always stir love into my food, or have that thought when you're baking and cooking, and make sure your food more nutritional for yourself. And you can ask that whatever you're baking, whether it is supposedly bad or good, you can ask that the Creator remove whatever is not supposed to be good for you. And you can do that by just the intention that you set. You know, and I always like trying new recipes myself. I made, I made like my own vanilla extract and stuff like that. So it's always so much fun. And so I look forward to all of that. It sounds so great.
Yes. And by the way, that is called the alchemical process, to put your intent into something you create, whether it's food or anything else, to put your intention into something and to manifest it into healthy, nutritional, loving food, as you were talking. That is the alchemical process. That is true alchemy. And so many people do it and they don't even realize that they're an alchemist. But we're going to help them to learn. All right, what topics are we talking about today, ladies? Renee, what topic would you like to discuss today?
Oh, I don't know. You mentioned so many. It's hard to say. I mean, like you said, I do tuning forks, and we all have our fortes of what we really have delved into, and I've really researched a lot of healing. Okay,
let's talk about the benefits of tuning forks so that people can understand. Walk us through that.
Well, Well, tuning forks, basically what you're doing is you're healing the etheric body, which heals your body. And so by using the tuning forks in certain areas, some of it can balance the DNA from your mother's side to your father's side. It can also heal other areas. And I've been using it on my own body. And some of them are just to, the crystal one is very good for just repelling negativities and just eliminating the negativities in, because when you heal the etheric body, it heals the body. And they also say too, like I've done massage for people. And so when you're doing massage, if you use the tuning forks before, after the massage, the benefits of the massage will last longer. Same thing goes for like acupuncture, people that do acupuncture, the tuning forks can increase the ability of what they're doing in their own thing to increase that healing. And the guy that got into it, the tuning forks that I bought, he said that a lot of people, he was an evangelical preacher. And so he witnessed people that would have automatic healing, just instantaneous healing. Well, he didn't know why some people it would happen to and others not. And he found that with the tuning forks, he could get the people that maybe weren't into it enough to heal from the etheric to the body. So if you're healing the outermost area in, yeah. So it's great. There's just so many uses of them, and that's just a few.
And don't they also, you can use them to clear chakras too, right?
Yeah, I've got the set that is the colored set. That's not down here, but like this one is your crystal one. This is your negative energy one. Okay. So you can just ring it, but you're supposed to hear it in each ear. So see, it's important to hear it in each ear because you want that sound balancing your whole body. And then you also can use it wherever, let's say you're the heart chakra. Let's say you want to do around the heart chakra. So you'd ring it in the ears and then the heart chakra. Like the pineal gland one that I have just right here. That one you can put on your pineal gland or, you know, in your sternum area. So, you know, you can use them besides in the ear, you can use them in different locations. And then the love one, this is just a good all around healing your DNA. Our DNA is bombarded in so many different ways through what they're trying to do to us. So we need to heal our sound because everything we do, the TV we watch or the news that we listen to, even if we don't want to listen to it, we hear it inadvertently in places in public.
Yes.
So, you know, all that stuff goes to healing yourself. You know, I no longer have a TV. I haven't had a TV for 4 years and I love it.
Yeah, I don't
need a TV.
I don't watch TV. So when you say it's clearing your DNA, I think I remember reading somewhere once that certain tuning forks can actually rejuvenate like the cellular structure all the way down to your core. So I guess that's what you're talking about with the DNA healing.
Right. Now,
and is that a certain one, and which one would that be?
Well, now, like this is an ohm one, and a lot of them, the tuning forks that are meant for the etheric body don't have a thing on the end where you can put it on the body, okay? Now, you can use these on the body, but you just have to use it at this point only, the furthest point. Now, some of them have like this area on top, and there is a set that can be used on the body, but the only ones I bought are the ones that are for the etheric. So there's different ones depending on your uses. Some people use, and supposedly if you use all the chakra points, okay, you can use the colored ones. This is a colored light green. This is the love one. This is for healing your DNA and injecting love into your body, into your heart chakra. And I've got the full set upstairs, but that one, and it's all about healing the etheric. But you can go like, if you have the root chakra one, you can use that around the root chakra. You know, if they're like on your massage table. So there's different ways. And some people, if you use all 6 of them, that's supposed to be like you have your crown chakra. So if you ring all of them at one time, and I seen one lady that's really good at it, she has multiple sets of the same one, and really just, I suppose that tone is just that much stronger that she's ringing several of them. So it all goes to the person and their own intuition when they use it, and your intention. It's not always about the tuning fork. Sometimes it's about setting the intention with the person that's going to hear it. Okay, this is healing your DNA. Listen to it on one side of your ear, the other side of your ear, and then hear. And I've done it to people over the phone, and they just love hearing it. And some of them have never experienced a tuning fork before.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's setting the intention. You are allowed to heal. So many times we have all this negative sick care system that wants to keep us sick, and we hear all these negative things about ourselves, and people are geared to think certain ways, like, oh, I got this, I have to go to the doctor. Well, you can heal it yourself. You just have to set the intention and allow yourself to do it. And so sometimes what a practitioner does is they just open up the person into allowing their own selves to heal, you know, and that's all it is, allowing yourself to do whatever you want to manifest.
Right.
But now it won't manifest if it's not in your highest good. You always set the intention that and sometimes it's timing. Maybe they're still going through a lesson. Maybe there's a reason they're not healing from something, because they keep doing the thing that their body says. You can talk to your body. So many QHHT hypnosis therapists, they talk to the body. Well, we can talk to the body too, but we have to just allow ourselves to think that we can.
That's right.
Hey, I want you to heal my whatever. I want you to heal my heart. It's all in allowing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, can I say something to that? So with that, yes, it is doing allowing, but the biggest thing is, do you listen? Do you listen to the signs that have been given to you? When you have heartburn over and over again, or you have your lower back is hurting all the time. These are also things that we haven't been, but we learn is that lower back could be the sign of, money problems, right? That you're having. And that's one of those signs that's going on, right?
Right.
And so for that, like, I'm a big believer on, yes, like, set the intention of, like, hey, and your words are so big. They leave out so much about that. Your words are so magical on what you speak. So when you wake up the morning and you're saying, good morning, and I feel like a freaking teenager, and I'm thank you for my feet, and thank you for my body, and thank you and bless, the air that, you breathe in without even thinking about every day, right? And thank you for your feet. Some people don't have feet to get up and walk.
Mm-hmm.
Yourself, and then watch and listen to your body. Yes, we love quantum physics, we love quantum leaps, right? But this is not where we're at yet. You can't just wake up the next morning in the next 24 hours. Sometimes you can. I would say at least give it 6 weeks, right? With all of your intentions and listening. And then you can watch yourself blast through this. It's insane. It's insane what you can do for you.
Yes.
I agree, Amanda. Giving gratitude makes so much difference. People, a lot of us, even I preach it, and sometimes I forget to give gratitude. And I realize when things start not going the way I need them to go, I stop and I give gratitude, and I realize, hey, what am I doing? Where's the lesson? What am I learning? And sometimes we just need to stop and listen to ourselves. And you're right, but I've noticed a lot of the heartburn. I cut out a lot of the wheat flour. I eat very little with the wheat flour in it, because I know that when I eat that, that's when I get the heartburn. And so, and I've eliminated a lot of the heartburn. And a lot of the acid reflux people have comes from the wheat flour, and we just need to, and our wheat crops have been I'm trying to think of the word. they've been contaminated by the skies, by what's in the skies, by so many different things.
They've been molested. Actually, they've been raped. Because to put it quite honestly,
Yes.
right, because to put it quite honestly, when they're growing the wheat now, they're not allowing it to grow for the length of time that it really needs to grow in order to absorb the nutrients from the soil, because it doesn't actually absorb the nutrients, if it's a grain, until the last stages of its growth process. Second of all, they do not replenish the soil that they grow it in the way that they should. So the soil itself is depleted of the important nutrients that the wheat now doesn't have, right? Because wheat did not used to be, yeah, I mean, it's tainted. It's all tainted because of this forced growth,
Right.
you know, need that we have now, this demand that they have on it, and taking that ability away from the farmers, because the farmers know damn well that you don't grow corn in the same field every single year. You alternate it with soybeans or something else, so that you are rejuvenating all of the minerals and
That soil.
nutrients and stuff in the soil, right? So that they still grow healthy corn and they still grow healthy soybeans or whatever else they're going to grow. They alternate. You don't just keep using the same field over and over and over for the same product, because you deplete it and you rape it. You rape it of its nutrients. You starve it.
And the thing is they say that our food in the 1920s was much more nutritious than the food we have today. The way we grow food, I mean, people that go back and homestead and grow their own food say that their food tastes so much better. It's so much more nutritious, you know, and one day I'd like to have a greenhouse where, you know, people can grow food, you can sell some of it, and they give a lot of it away. I mean, anybody that grows a garden always gives up a lot of food away. And we need to get back to that. We need to get back to hometown communities again.
Yes.
You know, and
community gardens.
I see like
community gardens.
I think we need more community gardens and community greenhouses in areas that don't have winter. I think that, you know, like I would like to see, when I'm governor, having a lot of greenhouses that can benefit the poor and the needy that need something, and it can be given away at a very hardly, you know, a cost. And you're also employing people at the same time that might not be able to get another job. You can employ people, make them have a worth, make them have value. That's why you end up with people stealing. They have not been taught any values. And they don't appreciate their neighbors anymore.
True. But
they don't know their neighbors.
Right, that is very true. And that is an important thing. We need to know our neighbors. We need to be in service to others and be a community again, and really, you know, help each other out.
Right.
Back in the old days, the children would run all over the countryside, and all of the neighbors in the countryside would help to raise the children. And, you know, we had a standing rule in our family that if the neighbor man or woman had to fuss at you or whoop your butt, you were going to get another scolding or whipping when you got home, you know, because you were doing wrong. And we trusted our neighbors to correct the children and to help to guide them and raise them. You know, we used to have these sayings, it takes a village to raise a child. And nowadays, young people don't even want their parents to help them raise their children. They want to do it all their way, or let the doctors tell them how to raise their children, you know, and doctors have no business telling you how to raise children. I'm sorry, but that is a soapbox I will stand on forever. Our doctors have too much power over how we raise our children and what we do with our children. And
I agree.
Between the doctors and the education system, they pretty much strip all of your parental rights away from you. You know, your privileges that you had as a God-given human person on this planet to recreate and procreate. They've tried to strip it all away from us, which really burns my biscuit. And I'm done now for a minute.
I agree. Our government has undermined the ability of the family structure. They've wanted to divide and conquer the family, and that's how they divide and conquer us. And we need to come together as family, as communities again. But I don't agree with big government. We need power. We need to have, I think government needs to, instead of having like a one governor, I think you need a council of 12, like the creator has. They have councils of people above in the creator realm. And I think we need to mirror more of what the creator has created that works, and not rely on the satanic cabal model of governing. And we need to get away from that.
Exactly. We need a council of elders.
Exactly. Yeah. Council of Elders. That's exactly what it is. Because young people don't understand and haven't learned all the pitfalls yet. And the elders know the pitfalls and know what to do. And that's why they have the Council of Elders. It's because even the younger souls, you know, we have young souls, we've had old souls here. We have a lot of different variations. We have people from many planetary systems helping Earth raise the vibration so Mother Earth can come into this. I mean, she's been suffering a long time, you know, and so much of what we're doing here is to raise the vibration of Mother Earth. And some people are made just to be in a certain area because that area needs that vibration of that person. Some people say, I'm not doing anything. Oh, yes, you are. You have no idea the energy and the love you're bringing to the area that you're living in, or your community. You know, so many times that's such a blessing. People don't realize what they're attributing.
That's right. And real quick, back to communities. I just wanted to say real fast that even in like urban areas and the cities where there's not like a lot of land to grow little gardens and stuff, do community gardens, you can do that on rooftops. Gardens grow great on rooftops. You know, use the building's rooftops. And if the government would provide the funding to create the greenhouse or to create the garden community area, then the people themselves would volunteer gladly to participate in taking care of it and raising it and distributing it to the people that need it. And that's a great way for us to teach our young people how to care for the soil, how to care for the plants, how to use the plants appropriately once they're ready to be harvested. I mean, it's a win-win. You're teaching the little ones how to understand a way of life that provides for them and will always make them a survivor, whether they're a city kid or a country kid, you know, and then they grow up to know that themselves. It's a win-win, guys. We're not hungry. We know how to survive. You know, we're coming together and being in service.
We need to get away from big government and big corporations. Big corporations have undermined our constitutional rights. That's who they put in charge of trying to undermine our rights. Big corporations are trying to dictate what things should be instead of letting the laws dictate it.
Yes,
and that is a sad
truth. However, with that being said, let's keep in mind that we the people allowed that control. So we the people can take back that control. It's that
right.
simple.
We just need to take it back. We need good people in government again.
Yes, we do need good people in government, but we also need people to just participate again. Just participate. Speak up, care, create your own damn community garden. You don't have to wait for some government official to tell you you can. Just start doing it, man. Be like Nike and just do it. Right?
I love it.
So be like, so I like to use it's big pharma as FARM, farm. Big
I know.
Pharma, right? So last year, we'll get into this in another topic, right? But when I was staying in Colorado Springs for a few months, my husband and I would take walks at nighttime through the neighborhood. And Colorado Springs is beautiful, right? They've got the beautiful mountains out there. That's where Tesla did all of his experiments, right? I wasn't in that area. I was in the more rural area, right? But in that area, though, it was really nice to see. So people have their front yards, and then they have a sidewalk, and then they have another where you would you know, in the cities they put like just like dirt and like maybe some flowers or something. These people actually took it to, there's a garden there in their yard, there's a garden there too. So if it could be where, like, I live in a highly covenant HOA, my HOA tells me what cars can be parked out front in my house, right? So it's like going to the HOA, like getting, you know, I want to get involved in the HOA to see if I can change some stuff. I'm not trying to make it so, you know, the Stepford Wives neighborhood, we don't need everything to look the same. People are allowed to have their own thing, but I would never be able to have a garden out front in my front yard. I would love to have a garden out in my front yard. And then I would teach all of the kids in my neighborhood how to garden. And if they wanted to pick stuff, I could show them what to pick, right? I've showed them already with some of the tree. We have little berries, and I told them, like, you can eat them. They're fine. They're not poisonous or anything. They're just gonna make your look like Popeye when you eat it because it's so sour, right? But like they were like, whoa, so cool. And they loved it. They loved it. Or like getting people together, right? When you go on a walk, like, be mindful. Again, this is being mindful. Like, everything's all about being mindful, but like, go grab a bag, grab some gloves if you're freaking scared about germs, right? But go and pick up garbage that's around your neighborhood, you know, like, help out. Like, see the neighbors see you picking up garbage. Like, sometimes when you're picking up your stuff outside, you see some garbage, just go pick it up, right? When I'm taking my daughter to PT, I know the people at the hospital think I'm nuts because I'll get out of my car and I see a McDonald's cup sitting there. I see, I've seen shooters. I've seen all kinds of stuff, right? And I grab what I can in my hand and I pick it up and I put it away in the garbage can. It's not beneath me. It's just something. Complaining about it every day. I get to, because I do help, right? But you can't sit there and do that and like not do anything about it, right? So these are all our little tiny steps that we can just be more mindful about.
Yes, I love that. We have to be the change. Yeah. It's like that Michael Jackson song, Man in the Mirror. You know, if you want to make the world a better place, start with the man in the mirror. You have to be the change that you want to see in the world. And also, speaking of the community service stuff, I just wanted to also add that I think a lot of people haven't noticed when they go to our website that we actually have programs that you can sign up for where you do things like that, where you create a community recycling or a community, you know, trash cleanup or a community garden or whatever. And we welcome people to bring in photos and videos and, you know, write about it, talk about it, tell about it as they go through the program. And then once they complete those programs, we actually have badges to put next to their membership names so that people will know that they have already done this service. And then if they are interested in the program, they know who to turn to for guidance and advice of how to go about putting something like that together. And I would really love to see more people involved in those programs that we offer the template for on the website to do community things like that, because we should be the change. We should all want to be the change. You know, why are we all sitting around waiting for things to happen? I don't understand that, you know. In a lot of ways, the stuff that we learned from the number 17 person was very beneficial to all of us. But in some other ways, it's kind of hampered us again, because we had all finally gotten that fire lit up under our butt and we were ready to get up and do something and make a change. And then all of a sudden we were told, hold on, set back, settle down, just wait. And now we're still all just sitting here waiting. We've had a vote stolen from us and all kinds of things going on that, I mean, you know, that we have to be careful what we say because it's censored, but and that in itself is stupid because this is freaking America, and we should be able to talk about any damn thing we want to, you know. But
well, I think what that did was it spurred everybody.
Hold on,
sorry.
I just want to really
no problem.
I want to hit this point home that we've got to stop sitting on our butt waiting for changes to happen. If you want to see changes happen, you have to go out and start using your voice. Use your body. Be actionable. You know, take charge, take control. Stop being afraid. Stop sitting on your couch, bitching about what's happening to our country and our world and our children and our medicines and, you know, forced jabs and different things like that. Don't just sit there and bitch about it. Get up and do something about it. Call your representatives. Tell them they work for you. Take back control. You know, like we need to take back control of our children, our food, our pharmacies, the doctors, the education, the government, the whole damn lot of it. Let's take control again. Let's make this a freaking revolution like they've never seen before.
And there's so much, right? So that means that everybody has to do something.
Right. Everybody needs to be involved.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because there's so much, it's so big that 3 of us can't solve these problems. You know, number 17 in his group cannot solve these problems on their own. They need us, right? We need to stand up and do our part.
Yeah, I always said, one man cannot do it all. That's why I decided to run for governor, is because I want to make changes in my state. And the only way we can do that is by taking back our states. Our state has a lot of power. The federal does not. One person cannot do it all. And I mean, you can have one guy leading everybody that is great, but everybody can't expect one man to do everything. And so we need to stand. And I think the whole number 17 thing helped everybody to start researching and start thinking. I don't think it was meant for us to sit and not do anything. I think what it was meant to was to get everybody to know the truth. It was for the truth.
I wasn't saying that it was intentionally doing that to us. Because I think their whole damn plan was freaking marvelously orchestrated and all for the good of mankind. It's people that became complacent because of it. The people have sat here waiting
but we are
for something to happen.
We are on the winning timeline. We are on the winning timeline right now, and that's important.
I agree. But real quick before we move on.
You're winning the race, right?
Yes.
Okay.
When you're winning the race, and just because you're winning the race and you can see you're winning,
doesn't mean you quit.
Right. People behind you that are gonna catch up. So you keep going. And then
absolutely.
Right? Because we don't stop here and we don't get just comfortable, right? Because we're trying to transition into the highest frequency, the greatest show on the face of this earth, and 1,000 years of peace, love, and light, right?
Yes.
Right.
We need to help everyone. It's in every form, from plants to earth, from worms to bugs to humans to animals. It's everyone collaborating together as a one. We all evolve as a one consciousness, but we have to help each other get there. And
absolutely.
And it's little steps, but you just keep going with our baby steps, no matter what, right?
Right.
That's right. And
I'm just saying from one.
Hold on. I want to slip this in really, really quick. When you said we need to take back our states, it starts with our states. I agree with that 100%. However, with that being said, that doesn't just mean from a political thought point of view for our audience. I'm saying this for our audience's sake, for the viewers' sake. There is more than one way to skin a cat. Okay? There's more than one way. And you do not have to run for a political position to take back your state. You start on the local level, you take back your community, you take back control of your school board and your township trustees and etc. and so on. And again, this is not just about running for a certain position. This is about taking control and putting the people that are on them boards back in check, making sure that they understand that they work for us, not the other way around. They work for us. We pay them.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right, Kelly. We need to take back every level of our communities. I'm just saying, for me, I decided to go for the state level because I felt that was the biggest jump I could do. And I felt other people would fall into line with your school boards, your doctors. You know, a lot of the nurses are quitting, and you know what? I believe that they're going to seek out natural healing. A lot of those people are natural healers. And those nurses are going to abound into areas that we've already been researching a lot. I might not be a trained nurse, but you know what? I know more about healing than some of the medical professionals. They don't want it to heal. They want to keep you sick.
That's right, because they're in the business of making money.
Right.
They're in the business of making money, not healing people and not saving people anymore. And I personally think, I hope anyway, that all of these nurses and doctors and medical field professionals that are stepping away because of these forced mandate things that are going on and their disagreements with the protocols and such, I really hope that these people take their knowledge, their passion to heal people, and they totally revolutionize the medical world. I think they will be our new type of
absolutely
doctor. Yeah.
Right.
I think you're right.
I'll tell you what, nurses have to know as much as the damn doctors do, and they get less credit and less pay and definitely less respect than the doctor does. And I think that the nurses alone could really revolutionize the whole medical field on their own, single-handedly. And I hope they do.
And let's not, we don't want to bash, we don't want to say like we're bashing the health, you know, all the people out there, because like there are, you know, when you go through the status of being in the white jacket, right? Like they're taught not to go within. They are taught not to do that.
Yeah, we're talking about the
only medical.
Right.
Yeah. And so and for that, right? Like the people, like maybe they did want to go within, and so now this is their chance to back out, right? And go start something that use their God-given gift as a medical person that really get them, right? But also take from within them and use that too as part of their medical thing. And then maybe they all collaborate together, right? And do their own stuff. I have a really amazing lady that I love to death, and Tracy's been really pushed out of the medical field because she, you know, instead of giving you Vicodin, she would prescribe you yoga, right? Or she would prescribe you something.
Right.
And I loved her. I brought her to our gym, but then COVID and all that stuff, so she kind of went down, but she's been doing her own thing. But like, I love vitamin B12 shots, right? B12 shots make me feel like I'm 18.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, right?
Yeah.
I love them. And so things like that, like a B12 shot.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was telling my mom about it. I was like, Mom, yeah, you know, Jake and I, we get B12 shots, right? And for what my husband does, like it only lasts about a week, and as fast as I move around, it lasts about a week, you know, for us. But my mom said, you know, Grandma used to do that. But well, dang, that was a smart lady, right? So it's so funny how there is these beautiful gurus and all this amazing information, right? But it gets lost, and then once we start digging and we start asking the right people, and now we've been given the internet so we can do a little more research, right? We can really self-teach ourselves like amazing things, and then collaborate with others to help out with that too, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Absolutely.
And I do think that us coming together, you know, they say that people, when they come together in threes, can do so much more than one person. By us coming together as a group with Kelly you know, I was drawn to her stuff. There's a reason I was drawn to her. We were supposed to meet. And same with Amanda, you know, there's a reason we were all supposed to collaborate, because each of our gifts accentuates the other person's. And so, you know, and I think just as a voice of women, you know, I am tired of weak women and fake women. Keep in mind, a lot of the politicians aren't even women. They were born males and then they've been changed over. And so we need real women speaking for women and strong women. I am tired of weak women being the voice of women.
Yes, absolutely. Amen to that.
Or higher education. It doesn't matter how you educate, as long as you educate yourself every day. I learn something every day. I try to. And so, you know, it's the thing of good people helping people and being in service to others. I am so tired of seeing people in a lot of industries. You know, every industry has the people that are in service to self. And there's the people that are in service to others. And you can always tell the people that are in service to others because they give the shirt off their back to the neighbor that needed it, or do whatever. The person that goes and shovels the old people's sidewalks in the wintertime. You know, it used to be that kids would go around and shovel people's sidewalks. Kids don't do that anymore. You know, we need to get back to kids how to treat people and how to treat their elders and having respect for people. And that does happen. Some families are astronomical in teaching their kids that. I don't want to put anybody down, and I don't like to throw anybody under the bus, because there's good people in all industries. But what we need is the good people to step forward in these industries and put the bad ones in their place. And we need to expose the bad ones for who they are and go from there. You know, and that could be politics or whatever, or school boards. But like you said, your local communities. And I don't care what town you're in, what city you're in, what country you're in. This is a worldwide event. And we are ridding ourselves of Satan's dominion from the earth. And he is never going to be coming back. But it's being done instrumentally, little by little. But now it's our turn. Now it's time for the people to take their communities back.
That's right.
Right?
That's right. And real fast, I just want to double back to Amanda talking about the B12 shots and just tell a little small story about when I was a young teenager, a very young teenager. This is when they first started discovering that I had rheumatoid arthritis. I was diagnosed at 13. We had this really great old town type doctor who would still make house calls if necessary to the elderly and such. And my mother would take me to see him at his clinic once a week on Fridays, and I would get a B12 shot. And as long as I got my B12 shot every week, I didn't have the symptoms of my RA to deal with. I did not have the muscle spasms and the cramps and the tremors and the twitches and the pain and the inflammation. I didn't have any of it as long as I had those B12 shots. And long story short, by the time I was 16, the feds had found a way to shut him down and haul his ass to jail because they didn't like him doing things that way. He wasn't going with their status quo. So that goes back to us not trying to put down the people within the medical industry who are trying to do the things to save the lives, because they did sign on and take an oath to do what was best for the human body and the human condition. It's the status quo. It's the rules, the legislation, the big pharma heads that are above them and overlording what they can and cannot do. And I mean, you can't even go to your regular medical doctor anymore and have him really do anything useful for you. They've taken so many of the rights away from the regular medical doctor that he has to send you to this professional and that professional and the other professionals. And he doesn't really, I mean, he's pretty much just a mediator now. You know, all of those years of training for you to sit in the office and be the mediator to decide which expert you should send your patient to. That's bullshit. they need to give that back to the doctors and let them do their work again, you know?
Well, I know in my community, there's this place called Sanford Health, and they own all the doctors. Any doctor that wants to participate and have a patient in a hospital has to bend to what Sanford wants. And that is true in just about every community. The hospitals have become a monopoly. They own the clinics, they own the doctors, they own the hospitals, and they decide how much they're going to charge. And I mean, they charge 1,000 times what should be charged for these services. I mean, there's no way they should be charging that much. And not only that, what they teach them in medical school, most of it really is useless when it comes to real reality. Now, we have great surgeons for people to get in car crashes. And I feel that hospitals are great when somebody is acutely and on deathbed. But when it comes to healthy people and taking healthy people and making them sick, there used to be a saying that I guess in China, it used to be that you would pay somebody to keep you healthy, and they did not get paid if you were sick. And so their system was different, set up on a different system where you paid somebody to keep you healthy. Well, you know what? If you were healthy, they got paid. If you were sick, you didn't. And that's the problem with our society is they only get paid when we are sick and when they keep us coming in for tests. And you know that a lot of the, they always push women to get mammograms. Do you know the machine that they test you on creates the cancer in your boobs because it smashes all your stuff, and it injects radiation into your body?
Right.
So women are get all these things, which causes the cancer, which they wouldn't have had if they didn't get tested.
Right. Exactly. You were going to say something,
and maybe
Amanda?
if you wouldn't. Well, I was just going to say, even with that too, I mean, cysts are really common for women, right? Cysts, ovary cysts, cysts in your breast, right? They're a really common thing. So again, that is coming back to your food, to your walk, all the ibuprofen that you take every day, to your lack of sleep, to not taking your vitamins, right? You're not doing your meditation. You're not saying your daily affirmations or saying I love you throughout the day. These are all like when a doctor, I want to say, I kind of remember like my grandma talking about the doctors, right? The same thing like you, Kelly, when they would come to the house, right? And they knew the story. They knew the story of the family. They knew that personal stuff, right?
Yeah.
Which would coincide to say, oh, well, I guess, Martha's husband, Willie, isn't doing well, and he's, he's dead, right? He died. So that's why Martha's been, her blood pressure's been a little high lately, right? Maybe not putting Martha on blood pressure medicine because her husband died and she's got, 5 kids left and whatever the hell, right? There's a little bit of stuff going, right? There could be other ways of going in to do things for children, or like not giving them the ADHD medicine, right? Or like cigarettes were a big thing to us back in the day. I'd like to say the cigarettes were a huge thing from Hollywood. They made you feel like it was a thing to get relief from stress, right? You see a cowboy and he's about ready to die and he's got a cigarette. They give him a damn cigarette, right? It's like, here, that cigarette's gonna make you feel better, right? And so cigarettes have been just like compelled. And I think cigarettes were actually okay back in the day before they started messing with them and they put all that plastic and all those particles, right? And so
chemicals.
I actually have something to say about that.
So it's just, and so Go ahead. Yeah.
I come from a family of tobacco farmers, and my grandfather was 89 years old when he passed away, and he chewed tobacco every day of his life. Chewed tobacco, spit in the platoon next to his chair on the porch, the whole deal. This man never had any kind of mouth ulcers, mouth cancer, throat cancer, lung cancer, none of the above kind of cancer. because he wasn't spraying any kind of bullshit on his tobacco. He was growing it. He was Native American, half Native American, and he was growing it by the old ways. And flash forward today, I am a smoker myself, but I roll my own. I buy natural Native American grown tobacco, and I buy the filters that are made from flaxseed, and I roll my own cigarettes at home. And I will tell you, first of all, I can't stand the smell of another person's cigarette. I might be a smoker, but I cannot stand store-bought cigarettes. I know them as soon as somebody lights them. I can tell. You can smell the flame retardant in them. You can smell the pesticide. You can smell those chemicals if your body is pure and you're not ingesting all of that bullshit. You notice it, you pick it up. And I can't stand, it makes me sick to my stomach to be around it. So I think that for those smokers out there that your conversation may have triggered them a little bit. If they're doing it a more natural way, you can still enjoy your cigarette and not have to worry about the health conditions that can come with it as much if you are using natural tobaccos and natural products to make your cigarettes, or to chew your tobacco or whatever it is that people are doing. Because I'm telling you, and literally even my grandpa ate bacon every single day of his life too. And he did not have high cholesterol or any of those type of problems. Now, the way my grandpa ate the bacon was that he barely cooked it. He wasn't frying it and letting it soak in all that grease. And I don't know if that made a difference or not. And I personally could not eat bacon like that. That's disgusting. But he also made his own bacon. He smoked his own bacons. He wasn't getting it from a store. Yeah. Yeah. And I think that matters too. Definitely.
No,
Well,
I would say about with that, because I live in Colorado where you got the wacky tobacco, we'll call that. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. 420
right?
tobacco.
So that, right.
420.
Yes. So you have, and you have so many people that are like, I can grow, and they grow their own and whatever, right? Again, like, I think it all comes back to, you gotta be mindful, like, you bless your Mary Jane, you bless your tobacco before you use, right? And literally, because I mean, these are, again, it's going back to the basis. And I don't want to say anything bad about anybody's habits, because I'm one who's came from many addictions. So I'm not one to say I'm like prim and proper about anything. So please don't take offense to none of that, because I read Alan Carr's 100 Ways to Quit Smoking. And he said, if you were ever to talk to him, and I would be the same way when I was quitting, like, and you tell me it was hard, you wouldn't want to be in my way. I would blow up on you and like dynamite. So,
right.
I would never be.
Another thing, Kelly, is the lighters, the Bic lighters.
Yes.
I had a friend say that she uses matches because the butane goes into your lungs and hurts your lungs. It's more the butane and the Bic lighter that can cause more problems. And I have asthma, so I can't usually, like Kelly said, I can't smoke too much. And when I did that Bic lighter, I realized it was the butane that was causing me more problems than anything. And I switched to kitchen matches. And I have not been I ended up buying dishes instead. But yes, I see that, Kelly. But yeah, that's another thing people don't know, is that the butane can harm their lungs. And that's smoking the wacky tobacco or the regular tobacco.
Right.
So this is beeswax. This is a beeswax thing. So instead of going to use your lighter every time, you would grab this, and this is what you would use to light with, right?
Interesting.
This is hemp beeswax. So Yeah, so this is what you can use instead. It's real natural, 100% organic, real easy, right? But that would be one of your ways of like alternating, and not besides. You can find them. I did find them at the dollar store, matches. I did.
Yeah.
Found them there. But want to have those on hand, right? And like that's again, that's all being very mindful and stuff like we were talking about from the candles, right? The candles, people don't understand. I mean, I would say it's going to be thousands and thousands of hours and years accumulated of like ingesting a really, toxic candles, right? But you really soy based, right? Soy based candles, very natural. When
Right.
I put candles out, I always, that's why they come with a top,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah. That's how you put it out. Yeah.
Yes. You don't blow
Right.
them out.
Yeah. Don't blow
The,
it.
the other thing too is some scents are bad for animals. I know some people have had birds or whatever, or certain animals, certain scents. Burning some of these different scents can harm your animals. You have to be aware of, especially with incense burners, not so much with candles, but more when you've got a stronger smell, like where you've got the oil that you're putting right into the incense burners. There are certain oils that are not good for your pets. And so people do have to research what kind of scents you're bringing into your home.
Yeah. And even with like the little wax melts that you can put in those incense burners and different things, and the wax candles and things, it's important to understand what kind of wax is in your candle, what kind of fragrances are in your candle, because those things can harm you. If they're harming your animals, your small animals like birds and such, and can kill them, then it's also harming you. You're just a larger entity that can handle a little more of it. That doesn't mean that it's not still bad for you
Right.
as well. And so people do need to understand what is in the stuff they're using, cleaning products included. That's another big thing of mine. I make my own cleaning products. I don't use that bunch of bullshit from the store with all the chemicals in it. I refuse to have that around my little children who may get their hands in it and then put their hands in their mouth and then they're eating those cleaning chemicals. I use all natural. Vinegar and water is my favorite thing. It's my go-to.
Mine's peppermint oil and water. I'm huge about it. Even when I was in beauty school, my old teacher used to just walk around because all the girls coughing and stuff, probably from smoking cigarettes, but right, they were spraying it everywhere in the air, and it would never, it's not Lysol, it's not Febreze, it's not any of that, right? And it's peppermint, it smells good. You can throw some eucalyptus in it. You can do lavender, right? Lavender, I used to do that at the beginning of the gym, right when you walk in the front door, because they're all like, oh, they were all like, they're, like late, ready to go, like this. And then as soon as they hit that lavender, they were like, whew.
Yeah.
And just like, calm down, just like calm down.
Yeah.
Right. It was just amazing.
Yeah. Aromatherapy is so real and so good. All right. Well, we have lots.
Yeah, and like,
go ahead.
I was just saying Epsom salt. I just wanted to throw that in. That's like one of my favorite, Epsom salt. We'll talk more about that though.
Yeah, we have lots of exciting things and very informative, useful things to share with everyone. I think this is a good point for us to close this out. I am so honored to do this show with the both of you. I am so glad that you could be with me tonight. I look forward to all of our future Wednesday wisdom that we share with the world. Thank you so much for being with me. And to all of the viewers, thank you so much for tuning in to us. And please check out the website and see what new services we have listed. We have lots of new exciting things that we are going to be doing with the public at large and offering as services for you. So check that out. And we will see you again next week for Wednesday Wisdom. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.